fix that live. Hi everyone, we're here now. Hello everyone, welcome to some of Spooks. We're playing Okult today, but first, let everyone introduce themselves. Joel, you want to go first?
Hey, I'm Joelle Van Dyne. I'm a role-playing and tabletop enthusiast trying to get out there and start playing with more people. Really excited to be here. Don't have that much else to say. She, her pronouns. If you want to throw in a spicy them, though, that's cool too. Yeah.
Awesome. I'm Matthias, he, him. You probably know me if you're on this channel. Because I get to do this. Katie lets me do this stuff on her channel, which is just awesome. She can't be here today. I think she's on a vacation, so that's nice. And we've got Mikael, who's going to run us through the game tonight.
Yeah, I am Mikael. My pronouns are they, them. I too am a role-playing enthusiast, actually. I like to play a lot of GM-less things, and I got to run. This is my second game on the Summer of Spooks, the GM-less, so I'm very happy about that. I look forward to playing with you all. Yeah, that's me for now.
Awesome. Couple of things. We've got safety tools set up for our game, so that's we have a document of lines and veils. Lines are things that will never come up in the fiction. Veils are things that may be part of the fiction, but not something we dwell on, or it's stuff that we fade to black on. And for inside the game, when we're playing, we've got the X and an O card. So the X card is if we come across something in fiction that we do not feel comfortable with having there, we can X card it. You can go like that, or you can say, I want to X card that, or type an X in chat, and then we roll back a bit, take the narrative in a different direction. We've got the N card for when we might be coming up towards something sensitive, and we want to signal, maybe let's better fade to black on this, or tread carefully. And we've got the O card for those times when play gets emotional, but that's exactly what we want to keep exploring. You can signal with an O or type an O in chat. And you can also type an O question mark into chat to check in with each other. Yeah. So what are we playing, Mikael?
Yeah, we are playing Okult. It's a game by Willem Persson, a Swede. So a fellow Scandinavian, always good to get some of those on stream. I think this will probably be the first stream game of this one. It's a horror game that centers around a hometown that will build up together. I think I'll just read the fluff text for this because it explains it much better than I do. You grew up in hometown, but moved out when you entered adulthood. A decade later, you're in your 30s, and the return to hometown brings back memories. Forgotten events are remembered, and together you begin to unravel the town's sinister secrets. Things repressed or forgotten are remembered as you trace the roots of your problems in the present into the past. The game is built upon 4 pillars that form the base of the game. So, which is the setting that we build up by 2 facts each. One fact that is true about our hometown, and one fact that isn't. We do the same with the characters in a way. To make like this game, it tries to like be a game about personal horror in a way. So this is also important in safety matters that although you're trying to do something that is real to you in a small way, but you also have to keep enough distance so it stays a game. So there's like a line there, but I think also finding that balance is like the magic source of this game. There's no conflict resolution in this game, so whenever there's a situation that you want to outsource the resolution of a thing, you just ask the table simply. So what happens here, or you can be more specific if you want. And the last thing is that the town has a secret. There is something wrong in hometown. And together through this game, we will gradually find out what that is. I'll get more into how the mechanics for that work, but that's all we need to know for now. So the first thing that we will do is that we'll make a hometown. As you see on my excellent, very homemade Roll20 thing here, there is a section that's called Creeper Town. That's our map. So we'll draw a map here, and we'll also there's also something called intersections. Intersections are places, event, or people or connection the characters has together. So that's a good thing to keep in mind also when you come up with things that, or when you come up with your characters later, that you could have something in common from these places. So, for example, drawing up the school or the church, or these kind of things where people meet is always a good thing, at least in some way. So, I guess the first thing we'll do is to come up with 2 facts, as I said. So about the town, we can go around the table, which we'll be doing all night for pretty much everything. There's pieces of information or memories about hometown. So I said one of these should be from your own hometown, and one should not. And you shouldn't you do not reveal which is which. But both facts are true for a hometown. Is there anyone who has any ideas? If not, I can start.
I think you should start.
Cool.
So we have an example.
Yeah. Well, I think there is this like house of prayer that isn't a church here. It's like a place where, like more like a community center, but very like centered around religion. It's an old white wooden house, and it's very like everything in there is very simple. People, I mean, now I guess it's very like outdated. It's not the time of this house anymore. But most of our grandparents probably went there. Like the big part of the community back then was centered around this building. There is like I imagine it being very simple. Like there's these 3 benches, and it's very like when you look at it today, it's extremely. You wouldn't ever have something like that in a building like that today, because it's way too simple. So that's one fact.
Okay, I've got a fact. And I think that the town is at the foot of a larger mountain range. And yeah, of course, like even at the foot of a mountain range, things are hilly. But this is like really where you feel like, oh, this is where from the actual mountains will actually start. And that means for this town is that half of the time you're looking at a sheer cliff face. So, right, instead of people being able to look very far, because the land is flat. Most of the time, you can't actually look way too far into the distance because it gets broken up, and particularly by the mountain that comes up right here. That the town is built at a foot of. Yeah.
Okay. I was thinking maybe are they usually places or can it be different kinds of facts as well?
Can be different fact as well.
Okay. A very important and somewhat controversial politician is from this town. And that has kind of affected hometown's image as a whole, even though that person is gone.
Yeah, so people,
they no longer live in that area.
Yeah, people actually know it all over the country, which they wouldn't if this politician hadn't come from here, right? That kind of thing.
Yeah. It's maybe like the one thing that this place is known for.
Yeah.
Oh no. How does people talk about? Is it which gender are they? Men?
Yeah.
How do people talk about this person in town now?
In town now, I think, it's always divisive, right, when we're talking about politics, but in this particular town, I think most people are supportive of that person. It's a little bit of almost less about the politics and more about the hometown boy made good kind of thing.
He put us on the map.
Yeah. So there's maybe
how can you not support him?
Yeah, or this you can disagree with whatever, but you can't deny that they've done good for here, whatever. We have tourists, that never happened, kind of thing.
Oh, yeah, that cool. It's that much people come here because it's it's the town of it maybe not a lot, but there's probably not a lot of other tourism here. There is noticeable for the local population.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay, so I think it's a pretty. I imagine it being a pretty small town, and there's only one school, and when you're out of high school, you have to move. Because it's pretty far to the biggest next big city.
Mm-hmm.
I would say call it Creeper Town High School, but that sounds I'm gonna still leave that up, but I'm gonna draw the school here. I think the school is in the center. Which is pretty much like a street with shops and houses around, with the shops being in the middle and then houses around and then farms around even though it probably in the hillsides here probably then where the sun is. And I think that school is opposite to the town hall or whatever, which is also not big and nice. Probably I imagine it being a concrete building from the 60s or something like that.
Yeah.
it does sound like very generally culturally. Where are we? Should we talk about that a moment?
Yeah, I think so.
Sure. I mean, it's your turn. You can go with.
So I could just say, yeah, clear, yeah, okay, yeah, could actually do that, right? And without like really pinpointing where it is, I think the thing that the town is kind of proud of is the which kind of lots of towns are in a way, but any time one particular town does have this, I think they think they were part of the Roman limes, the most northern line of the Roman Empire. At some point, right? Like we can be like, I'm fine with being indefinite. If this is maybe further east, or more to the west, I don't mind. Yeah, but to locate it like that. So, right, that's where they can say like, yeah, we were part of the northernmost border of the Roman Empire. To give them some kind of make them feel, yeah, we were historically important.
Is there any like landmarks that signifies that, like a stone where it says something in Roman letters?
Yeah. Let's get that thing on the map. Maybe it's even connected with really small time archaeological dig, where they think might have been a settlement. Should I draw that somewhere?
Yes. Also, feel free to draw whatever. I mean,
yeah.
Only right.
I guess that's like a border stone.
Are they still here, the archaeologists? Or is this like they found nothing here, it's just a stone?
Took it all back to the fancy school.
Yeah. I think they... I think it's... They found a little bit, and that was enough for everyone to say, yes, we've got something. But it was it never seemed, apparently it wasn't ever worth of like doing a huge dig there in any shape, way or form.
Okay. I'm trying to think of like what people in this town would do, right? If there's if it's kind of a small town, not near a city so much. So I think there was a mine at some point. Maybe we can decide if it's still like active at all.
Mm-hmm.
But outside of town, there was a mine like in the mountains somewhere. I'm not gifted
I mean,
artistically.
nobody is gifted in Roll20. I tell you, this is
Doing our best here.
Oh, is it a mine or is it a quarry? What?
I think I was thinking a mine.
Okay.
A quarry could be
No, that's
cool too, which is
I wasn't
a big
just.
hole in the ground. For spooky things to happen in.
yeah. I mean, mine is pretty right into the. There's a lot of possibilities for a mine.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think if the town had archaeological importance at all, maybe they were down there too, kind of, or they thought they found things in the mine and maybe did or didn't while they were here too.
Did the mine close after that?
Did it close at the same time they also shut down the archaeological dig site?
Ooh, that'd be quite
Coincidentally at the same
mysterious.
time?
We just have to stop digging all over the place. Don't ask why. Yeah, I think that would be pretty interesting. Because that would mean pretty much every game in town is suspended, right? Like academic stuff going on at the archaeological site and industrial stuff going on at the mine. So kind of a lot of people stuck in the lurch a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, I bet like probably the road through town is probably like the main business.
Yeah.
Cool. I think, well, we all contributed to facts. We will also flesh out this a little bit more when we are making characters. And before we start, we can see if we need to flesh out more or not. I think for a start, this is pretty good. There's some good places here, good facts. Another thing about this game is that the story will develop in 2 different time periods. Some things will happen in the present and are played as character experience them, like when they as they're coming back to town. And we are also playing some memories from our younger days. Those flashbacks would usually be set as teens or around that age, and it's recommended that our characters are on more or less the same age. But we don't have to be bound by that. But like, it's easier to find so-called intersections that we have in common if we do that.
We knew each other back then, and when we come back to town, we would actually recognize each other again, right?
Yeah, we have some shared history. Yeah, so what we'll do next is to I guess we can set those time periods a little bit. What it says is that we shouldn't set the time longer back than when the youngest player in the group was a teen, so that we all have a recognition of what that time period's aesthetic is, more or less. So when is that?
I'm 28, so that was around, like, I don't know.
Early 2000s?
Yeah, like 2005 to 2010-ish.
Oh, yeah.
It's more or less the same for me. like a little bit earlier, but like 2000 and something. We're all good by that?
It's going to be some interesting fashion.
Yeah, I have to take a little break to remember that. I think that's one of those memories I have suppressed. I don't know. Cool. So, and the present then is some more or less like 10. So it's more like present day than 10 years in the future. So if you might set the time period around like 2005 plus minus some years, and then say like 2015 something. Cool. So the next thing we'll do then is to make our characters. We'll be playing one character each. The first thing we can do is to come up with a name and a date of birth. I guess the date of birth is more or less. I mean, I guess there's some wiggle room there, but if we are 2005 is the time we were around teens, if that's what we want to do. I mean, if you don't want, you can also say so, but then just to make sure we have a coherent concept, just discuss it a little bit in the group, how it would work. Yeah. And I guess you can also do like the looks and pronouns, and then we'll come up with the facts afterwards. I'm going to take the one to the right. Oh no, I'm drawing things instead of pinning. Well, so to write here, just take the text. If you know, I don't know, it's always...
Sometimes it's a little wonky, but it's working for me tonight. Should we already start coming up with like the facts, or are we still waiting for?
I mean, feel free to do that as well. So what we'll do is that. Let's see, I'm just gonna. Go down to where it says what I should do. Yeah, so we're coming up with one fact about each character. Same thing as last time. One is true-ish, you determine, and one is not.
And we do not yet state which one is which, right? Or like...
Yes,
exactly. Should we also as player not know? Like, or be undecided about it?
I mean, that's a personal choice that you can make all on your own.
Okay.
I think like the reason that it is like that is that the characters should be relatable. And I think that's the most important part about it. It's just a way to make sure that they are, I guess.
Yeah.
But just come up with one first, because we'll do like the past and the present first. I guess if we all have names and stuff, I guess we can just start going through that right away. So the first thing we'll do is that we'll introduce our characters. So, like, my name is so and so, and I was born so and so, and then make sure to include one fact. Yeah, there's one that is true about yourself, and one that is not. End your introduction by asking a question about something that happened to your character as a teenager, and then the rest of us can answer that question.
Oh, interesting. Okay. Do you want me to start, or do we want
Sure,
to go
if you want to go.
order? Yeah, okay. So my character's name is Joseph, though he uses he/him pronouns, and everyone called him Sep for short. He was born on Christmas 1989. And the one fact about him is that the fact is his dad died when he was very young, and his mom never really remarried or like raised him as a lonely child. So like died about like while he was still like a really small kid, like toddler age. And a question about this is kind of difficult, or well, give me your opinion, what you think of my question first, maybe, if that's actually a useful question to ask. I think the question I would be asking is did the general public just consider him a troublemaker, or was he actually one for reals? Right. So he might have been caught selling drugs, like nothing big, like weed actually, or something like that, right? Which would give him like bad reputation in the small town, as like a troublemaker. Or maybe the question here should be, was he a juvenile delinquent? Right? Did he actually have trouble with the law because of that? Is that a good question, or is that too easily for you to say? No, yeah, cool.
No, I have. If I'm gonna, okay, I am actually going to answer this.
Okay.
Because I think that Joseph. I mean, that's both true and not true that he was a troublemaker. I think. I mean, he definitely did a lot of things that would be considered the modus operandi of a troublemaker. But then again, he had.
Yeah, what else are you going to do?
He had reasons for. I mean, it was acting out because of how he didn't fit into school. I think, like it's just. I mean, and I don't think, because this is a very small community, I don't think he really got in trouble with the law in the way that there's anything that you can see today. But I mean, the police officer in town definitely had a good knowledge of what Joseph was up to.
Yeah,
and I'm sure they expected them to be, someone who it wasn't going to go well for.
Yeah. Oh, you're muted.
Sorry. Yeah, I think with the town not being like so big, a lot of it was probably like you were saying, not that he did anything terrible, but anything that was like a little bit naughty, by the time it got through the whole school, would be like this whole overblown thing.
Yeah.
Like maybe he like did some graffiti on the bathroom wall or something, and then 2 weeks later it would be like, did you hear that he was like doing drugs in the bathroom and totally wrecked the place and like threw a sink and this kind of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But that maybe contributed to the town cop knowing about him.
Yeah. Nice.
That was one fact, wasn't it?
Yeah. Should I already name the second one?
Mm-hmm.
Fact number 2 is he went off to the capital to study law.
Cool. I can go next. So my name is Jonas. I'm born the 15th of October 1990. I use he, him pronouns. Jonas was a son of an archaeologist. His mother, to be exact, and there was no father in the picture. I think my mother, she's from the capital, and I think she's pretty liberal. They weren't really in a relationship, my mother and father. It was just an accident, and I think like that wasn't a big deal for her, but in this town it was. So Jonas got bullied a lot, I think. Who knows? Maybe even Joseph was involved in that. I don't know. But I mean, I don't think it was like this overt physical thing. It was just that he was excluded a lot from things, and it was like the like class nerd. Yeah. When he moved, I think he hasn't been back since he left Coopertown. So, what question? Where did Jonas find companionship in the town?
Do you have an idea? Or?
Yeah, I'm trying to think of how to say it. Maybe I think it sounds like Sepp and Jonas were both kind of outsiders, so maybe they maybe not even necessarily were friends, but hung out sometimes. if you guys want to elaborate on that, like how deep that connection was, or if it was just kind of more opportunistic, I guess.
Actually, that reminds me, because that sounds like a good base for a question. After that, the person who has answered the question also posts a question back that you write down, and as the focus for your first scenes. So this actually sounds like a good base for a question for me, if you want.
Yeah. So I guess like were you actually friends, I guess, or was it just forced together kind of thing?
Mm-hmm. And I also have to come up with a question for Joseph. Did you ever forgive the town?
And I'm not supposed to answer. I'm answered to play. Okay. Yeah, I had to stop myself there, right? Nice.
You want to introduce your character, Joel?
Mm-hmm. Yep. I'm Molly Taylor, born March 1st, 1990. For the first fact, Molly, or I followed my high school boyfriend to college or university, and that's why I left town. And for fact 2, Molly ended up dropping out. I think the game says that we're supposed to talk in first person. Is that we just trying to stick with that? Okay. I had never been out of the town before, so it was a really big shift to go from hometown to this big place, and I just kind of got lost and couldn't keep up with school. And I guess my question is, what happened with the boyfriend that I followed?
I think I think your boyfriend. Well, I don't think the relationship lasted, and the boyfriend. I think he pushed you, or not pushed you, but pressured you to keep studying the same thing that he was studying for way too long. Yeah, and I think and he also never told anyone back here in town that you ever broke up.
Okay.
Because he was way too much into that. Oh yes, no, we're like high school sweethearts. We're meant for each other, and that was way more important to him than like the actual relationship. Like the image of the relationship was more important to him than the actual thing between you two. So people might still come up to you and say, "Hey, where's he? Is he in town as well?" Right?
Okay. So then I come up with a question.
No, I
Based
come
on
up
it?
with a question, right? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And this
Yeah.
is supposed to kind of give you a little
Yeah.
direction for the first scenes. Um,
Gotcha.
yeah. What do you still find heartwarming about home? This hometown.
Okay. I like it.
See a couple of nice sides to this town before it gets all super bad.
Cool. So what we'll do before we go into the present is that we'll look for intersections, so things our characters has in common, and mark them on our sheet. So I put like a small section where we can put those things here. So did we all went to school together?
Yeah, we're so close in age range, right?
Yeah. Sub's 1 year older. The cool senior.
That's only a couple of months on you, right? Because I'm
Yeah,
born
probably.
in December.
Bad at math.
So I think we would actually be in the same
Yeah.
grade.
Yeah. Me and Molly are both bad at math. That's the real fact.
Other intersections.
Maybe. I mean, we don't have to find. Actually, well, we should all have one intersection with every other character, but I guess we already do. So we don't have to come up with more than this.
I mean, we've got an intersection that we're both outsiders.
Yeah, that's true.
And between you two, I can see an intersection. So it's just for now between characters. It could be any, right? That we're seeing. So if this town is actually quite religious.
At least it was, I think.
Yeah, it has like deep roots in that, and like it's like this house of prayer, right? And it's like a big. That used to be always a big community building thing. But you're the son of the ecologist, so also the ecologist is an outsider, right, to the community. Comes in and digs up the place. And so maybe you're like the intersection there is with you getting bullied, and the house of prayer is that either you're of a different confession or without confession.
Is any of your characters connected to those two things in any way?
In a sense, because with my mom never remarrying, she was also kind of an outsider, and probably not someone who went to church a lot after my dad died.
Did Molly and Joseph's parents both go to the church or to the house of prayer?
I think so. I mean, if it's a landmark, probably a lot of people go there. So yeah, I think
like my parents did get married there, I would assume. I would think.
Yeah. Molly probably still goes now that she's back in town, or I'm back in town.
Do you, Joseph?
No. I'm thinking. I was definitely. I definitely did my time being an altar boy or something like that. And yeah, no, I don't want to see the inside of that again.
Cool. Yeah, we have some. I think we're fine with this. I think. Let's go to the present. So.
We want to take a break before we go there, or when do you think it's a good time?
Let's take a break after we're finished. I don't anticipate it should take very long.
Oh, okay.
And it's the last thing we do before we start playing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, then that's good.
So in present time, the procedure we just did is reversed. So another player describes where your character is in the present and what happened once they left hometown. And elaborates a bit on your current situation and asks you a question. So you answer the question and elaborate on your own situation, and then end by asking yourself either why am I returning to hometown, or why is this making me return to hometown? So I guess I can start and thereby say, can some of you describe what I am doing at the current time? So what is Jonas' current situation?
I have an idea. I think you're just coming. You're passing through with. With like with a new partner. New, it doesn't have to be like super fresh, but it's like this. Oh, we're going. Maybe this is like before a vacation or something. While we're heading there, we could make this little detour, and I could show you the crazy town I grew up in. Something like that.
Mm-hmm. So I have a partner. Mm-hmm. Cool. You can ask me a question.
Why do people in town do not think that they are your partner on first sight?
Yeah, I think that is because my partner is a girl and everyone thought I was gay.
And they still do.
Yeah, and I think I'm not gonna ask. I don't think I'm actually gonna say more than that, because I think that's a good. It also leaves me something to discover with why am I returning to hometown. Anyone wants to go next and thereby delegate the responsibility to someone else?
Sure. Who wants to tell me what I'm up to?
I will. So, Sep, I think you've returned home because your mom asked you to, essentially. She's not there yet or anything, but she's getting older, and she wants some plans and reassurances maid that she'll be like taken care of when it is time for her to need more like
Assistance.
full-time care.
Yeah.
And I think you can tell that she wants you to move back for good, but she's not going to straight out ask like, hey, move back and let your mom move in with you.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. So my question, I think, is do you resent your mom at all for leaning on you like this, for placing all this responsibility on you?
Should I be answering this now, or should I be answering this in scenes?
This is one you answer now.
Okay. No, I don't. I don't think I resent her. I think I'm really torn in deciding what the right course of action here is, and like, okay, where should I be firm, and where should I be maybe creative in solutions? Yeah.
A dutiful son.
And so, no, I should find a question, right? For my first scenes in this sense as well.
It's why am I returning to hometown, or why is this making me return to hometown?
Oh, okay.
Right.
Yep.
Whichever is more appropriate.
Well, it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Why am I returning to hometown?
I guess it's Molly's turn.
So one of you decides where I've been.
Mm-hmm.
Mikhail, do you want to contribute?
Sure. I mean, I think that this coming back to, you've been here for a little bit, like not long. I think it was initially a holiday, but the holiday is like over now, and you're still here, and it's like very. It feels very undecided between, I guess, your family and I guess for yourself as well, where what is actually going to come next. Because I don't think you have anything really waiting for you in the big city. Like you have friends and things that you did, but there's no job and there's no study. So at least that you have in your immediate pipeline.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's the current situation. And asking you a question. Did you think that do you really consider moving back here? Like, for good?
I think she's considering it. Or I think that hometown is where I was comfortable back in school and where I felt like I mattered, kind of. We haven't said anything about me being an outsider. So it's there's, I think, a sense of defeat about like having to move back home and stagnation of going all this time and ending back up in the same town that doesn't have that much going on for it. But at the same time, it feels good to be kind of back in the old stomping grounds. So I think I'm thinking about it.
Nice.
Cool. Yeah, and that's our characters. So we have a loose idea of what our hometown is and a loose idea of what our characters are. But then we'll get a lot of time to figure out more about both those things when we start playing after the break.
I'm looking forward to this. The setup is nice. Yeah, so we'll be back in 5 to 10 minutes. Have a little break and see you in a minute. And we're back. Alright, what comes now? Now we get to play scenes.
Yes, we get to play scenes. So, well, basically, as for most GMS things, it is we're gonna take scenes in turn. You don't have to be in the scene; you just frame it. You frame where you are, who's there, and what's going on. And you can also frame scenes for other main characters. Whenever we have a track over right here that our viewers can see, but it says it's a track from normal, odd, strange, scary, frightening, terrifying. We start at normal and we end the game at terrifying. So how that moves along is that every time there is a scene where none of the player characters is present, it goes up one notch. Originally in the game, it says that every player should have at least one scene in every thing here, but I'm gonna skip that because that's gonna take way too long and be way too slow. So I'm gonna say that for normal, we can start out doing that, but we don't have to have a scene for every character, for everything, because then we're gonna. I don't know, the pacing seems also last time when I played it we did not do that, and we still had ended up with a more satisfying escalation towards the end. Usually goes faster.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So the other thing is that whenever we can play scenes both in the past and in the present. Past are flashbacks. We can use them to look at things in the past that we don't remember or could be important to the story or the secret. Because probably the thing that's weird about this town has been going on for a long time. At least that's the thought of it. And we might realize now in hindsight that what was going on, and then we can play the scene to show that. Or in the present. But every time two main characters meet each other for the first time in the present, we have a small flashback scene to see something about their relationship. Mm-hmm. I think that is about it for rules here, actually. So there's not a lot. I mean, I would say that general advice always in these kind of games that just come up with what's obvious doesn't need to be fantastical, and we'll weave together our story and find our secret in the end. And just trust the game. Yeah, I think we can just go.
And the track goes up anytime we have a scene with none of the protagonists present.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So and the scene can be as long and as short as you want them to be. The player who sets the scene also ends the scene.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And then, experience is usually cut earlier than you think you have to, right?
Yeah. I think so. Also, for horror games, I advise to spend a little extra time on description and detail of how it looks. Aesthetics usually add a lot, I think. Don't feel like you have to, but that's like a tip. Cool. Other than that, the only last thing is that whenever there is something on the line, or you want there to be an element of chance, or you want to know something that you don't want to come up with yourself, you just ask the table, and anyone on the table can answer. But if not, if no one answers, then the person to the left of the player will answer that question. So I'm going to go with the way we look on stream, I guess. So Matthias is on the left of me, and Joel, you're on the left of Matthias, and I'm on the left of you, Joel. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Is there any questions before we start?
I already know a scene I want to do.
Yeah, you can go ahead and set the scene if you want.
Yeah, I think we start on a close up, and we see the back of a wooden bench. We quickly come to realize it's a wooden bench, and it's the back of it, and there's one arm, or like one hand, that goes over the back side of it, and it's feeling the rough texture of the wood there, and actually feeling the rough texture of someone who of something that's carved into the back of the bench, and we can actually right, it's like your typical, it's a heart, and there's two names in it, and the finger is tracing one of the names. That makes it so that we can't make out what the name is, but below we see basically plus Seb, and that's when we slowly pull out, and we see Seb sitting on that bench, knowing, like, wondering, is that carving still there, and feeling that out, and sitting on the bench that kind of looks across across kind of the main town road over to where the church is. And I think I've got like a shopping bag of groceries or something on my other side, and this might already be it. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. I can go next. I think we see the picture starts with like a frame of this small. It's like a hotel, but it's not really a hotel. It's more like like a building with 4 rooms and a bar. For this kind of place, and I think you see Jonas sitting outside on a chair. You see his partner just like going in, and you just hear like her saying, "See you later. See you later then." and I look down at my phone, and I go on. You see that my phone is like on a Facebook page of like a Facebook event that's like a class reunion, and you see that I pressed that I'm not going, but I think I can see like the crosses of you two, like with your going thing, and I just like scratch my head, and then I like take the rest of my beer, which is probably like half of it, and I send. I think I send you a message, Joseph. It says, "Hey, you're in town," and then I send a picture of like of my like view, which is probably these parasols with this name of this place on it.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, you get back. Yep, actually, I am. Who'd have thunk? What, you two? Are you coming to the... Where you
No.
at?
Well, no, I'm not coming to that. But let's meet up. Maybe we could go look at the old archaeology site.
Sure, I actually don't have anything to do this afternoon.
I think that's it.
Okay. So the scene opens with a door swinging open, and it's the church letting out. And I walk out into the sunny day, and I'm with my family. And they're talking about something, like they've been trying to kind of fill my days a little bit. I've been home long enough that just revisiting the same places isn't all that exciting. And they're kind of, I think I can tell they're not sure really what to do with me. And I also don't really know what to do with myself. So I'm sort of tuning them out a little bit, and I look across the street and see Sep. And I think I feel like I should say something, but I have no idea what, besides just acknowledging, hey, we went to school together. But I kind of think better of it and think that maybe you wouldn't think very fondly of me from our school days. So I'm looking across the street. Does Sep look up and see me?
Yeah, that's good.
Or can I escape?
What do you think, Mikhail?
I think this would be a perfect time for that flashback scene, as you're both in the...
This is true, yes. Is there any guidelines for that, or anyone who has an idea for what that flashback scene might be like?
So, when two main characters meet for the first time in the present, halt the current scene and play a scene set in the past, showing the nature of their relationship through one of their intersections. So your intersections, I guess, is school, and you also used to go to the house of prayer when your parents used to go to the house of prayer when you were kids. Yeah, so that's the guidelines.
So did you also work as like an altar girl or something like that, or whatever it's called?
Yeah, I don't know if I did that, but I feel like maybe my mom like cooked a lot of food to eat after the service and things like that.
Uh-huh.
So I was around pretty often doing community service, basically, like not necessarily taking part in the religious ceremonies.
Yeah.
I
So
guess.
this is like after church on a probably similar kind of bright afternoon.
Yeah.
I could imagine, and maybe there's like a little bit of green space just behind the church where like the town probably has a fair at some point, like some kind of but this is like just more like a minor festival or minor holiday or something like that, where you're bringing up like whatever stuff your mom has cooked, and we're setting that up, and we're behind like a tent or something like that, and I think I'm like we still gotta wait around for what? It's like almost 2 hours before people are meant to come. Here, I've got something to pass the time, and I start rolling up a joint.
In front of the mac and cheese?
It's gonna taste so much better. I promise you. And so we're like behind like this, probably like boxes here, and there's maybe like a few kegs of something, and there's like probably like cables running for the heating plates to keep the food warm, whatever, that kind of stuff, right? That's where we are. What do you mean? Say you've never tried? You want it? And I get like really excited to be potentially. Oh, am I introducing someone new to this thing that's definitely rebelling against the town?
Yeah. Like obviously not. Where do you even get that here? And I'm outwardly being like, you're insane, but I kind of like lean back and like look around. Like, I mean, I guess I could. It is 2 hours.
Yeah, I don't know where we had to start. This will pass the time. I think we cut there. Back into the present, right? And I think I'm like kind of looking over the street, but like the sun is kind of shining in my face. So there's this moment where I try to see. So it might be a chance for you to have turned away and pretend you haven't seen me.
Yeah,
Otherwise, I'd be like, I think I'm going with my other arm immediately, like trying to like wave or say hi, but I'm not like gonna be calling out anything at this point.
Okay. I think so. I look and you kind of cover your eyes, and I'm like, okay, I think I'm like, is he waving? Is he what's he doing? And I think just for a minute, I think about that time we snuck around the back and smoked weed at the church picnic. And it probably ended up with us like high on that bench. And I, before you can get your other hand up to actually wave, I just look away and walk off, looking a little embarrassed.
Then I open my mouth as if to say, "Oh," but no, that'd be weird and strange. So I yelled something after you. So I think I kind of deflate back into the bench. And that's scene. Oh,
Scene,
actually,
yeah.
it's your scene, right?
Okay.
So you need to call that when you think.
Yeah. I think maybe the way that I try and like deflect is I pull out my phone and it's we see it's the same event page, and then end scene.
Nice.
Cool. Yeah, I think I want to put a scene with no one of us in there now because that seems appropriate. But I just have to have an idea. I think actually it will be a scene in the past. I think I'll put my mother in it, I think, and I'll also who of yours parents were like most central in this Christian community?
I think mine, maybe.
Mm-hmm. My mother's name is Anya, and I also made like a little place for us to put down our NPCs that we create, so we don't have to remember names. Is that your mother or your father? Your mother, that's...
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What's her name?
Kate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think this scene is inside this house. There is... this house is like mainly comprised of 2 rooms. The biggest room is looks a bit like a church, except there's no pulpit or no big fancy paintings or anything like that. It's just like it's just this this table where you stand behind, and there's like a cross on the wall, and there's the other room is more like the room where they have community activities, and I think it also doubles a bit as an office because there's with just like a wall that stands out a little bit to shield this area, and I think it's this conversation takes place in like the hallway between those two rooms. It's probably after one of these community things, and there's like still food on the tables. There is some children running around, and Anya, she's wearing this like, I think it's a t-shirt from the like local it's not a convenience store, but like a like where you get your utilities, which is an important shop in this town, of course. And like worn down jeans, and she like turned. I think they're just having like this conversation, like this daily conversation after I guess Anda is not really there very often, so it's a bit strange. But they know each other from before, and I think Anda starts the conversation with like, I heard that they're also closing the mine. Do you want me to? Who wants to?
Yeah. Should I be my mom?
Yeah.
I guess.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I heard that. No idea why. It's gonna hurt a lot of people, though.
Yeah. And we're also closing the excavations. We didn't find anything else. There was just like a few coins, and well, that's actually why I'm here. I thought this would be the best place to tell everyone.
Well, you got your work cut out for you. Saying that there's no more game in town.
Well, I mean, I didn't close the mine.
You ever heard the phrase "shoot the messenger"?
Well, actually, when you say that, that was actually a thing. And she like, but I'm not going to bore you with that story. Well, I mean, it's going to be hard, but I don't know, and she gets like this conflicted look on her face, with these places that this town wouldn't even exist if it wasn't for the mine. I mean, I know there's been a road here forever, but
A road for the mine.
Yeah.
We'll figure out something. God provides.
Well, I heard your daughter is doing well at school, though. You think she's gonna move out and get some medication?
I hope so, especially with everything going on now. How's your boy? She's obviously doesn't remember. Your son?
Oh, Jonas, and I think that's where we cut the scene.
Nice.
Cool. And now we can move our small little bug here from normal to odd.
Yeah.
So this gives us some. This track is meant to be like a way to guide you to how to set your scenes. So I think we can all agree that our scenes up until now has been pretty normal. So now we can try to get a bit more odd.
And do we continue in the turn order? What do you think?
We don't have to, but we can. I mean, that's easiest, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, also if I just want to know if someone has like a burning, I know what the next scene needs to be, then just interrupt us, I guess, right?
Yeah, it's not important.
In this case, I actually have an idea, though. So it fits with the turn order, I guess. And we can also frame scenes for other people, right? And so with like basically I think we already during the last we already cut over visually to where there's like trees and there's like a little pathway and his name is Jonas, right? That's when we see Jonas like walking up to the old dig site and passing through, and we definitely see the sign that's like all weathered now and that says like archaeological dig. Please please be on the lookout for signs, and like it's just an information plaque basically, right? That you walk past, and but it's all overgrown, like this not a much used hiking path. Like there are probably in other parts around the town. It's probably the one thing you can do here that is actually nice is go hiking. So you're pushing through like an overhung branch or something like that, and you come when like what was the dig site opens up before you, and a thing that immediately catches your eye is a piece of definitely newer police tape fluttering in the wind. Like it's probably been tied between two trees, but it's already ripped and fluttering there. And it's not the kind of tape that was used maybe to cordon off areas in the past. And there's no sign of Seb.
Yeah, I think I like look. I guess like I'm going to describe also how Jonas looks for a bit.
Yeah.
He has pink hair and is wearing like this. I think it's like a T-shirt, like a band T-shirt with the touring dates on the back of like this famous kind of metal band or something like that. And I think like he's definitely wearing like flip flops walking up here, not a very well equipped for like hiking or anything like that. So probably also on the way up, I think the one of it's like a Havaianas or something, and the thing ripped. So he's like now walking with them in his hand, barefoot. And when he comes up, he like looks down. So he looks at the hole and just like, what the fuck? And like loudly to himself, like said, or not very loud, but like says to himself, who the fuck would do crime up here, and what would that even be? And he like sits down, looking at the supposed crime scene. Is it a large area?
Not particularly. I mean, they did cordon it off like with a good margin of so in the center of it, you presume must be what the actual crime scene must have been. And I think you see like definite marks, like they like used like spray paint to mark certain places where something must have lain, right? onto the grass there. So you see like the off-colored grass that's been marked, and
Yeah, I think I take up my phone and I like take a picture, and I send it to Joseph, and like jokingly like asks, "Is this you?" And then like look over to. I guess I even have coverage here.
I think it fails twice, and then the third time it goes through. You have to like click on resend, right? And then you're like, well, it seems to have gotten through now, hopefully. But then I think then that's when you hear a rustling from the bushes. And yeah, Seb comes stumbling out of the bushes. I'm like actually closing his belt, right? Probably went off to the side to take a leak or something like that, and like, oh, hey Jonas, and you wouldn't actually recognize him. Like, it takes a second look because his hair now is short, and he's like kind of wearing good shoes, which are already dusty and dirty from stomping around in off-road basically here, right? And I think we need to have a flashback on this moment.
Yeah. Can I say what it is?
Sure, because I have no idea.
I think actually it is at this same place, like 10 years ago.
And we see the sign being pristine, new, yeah.
Yeah, and you see like there's this big like hole in the ground, and I think it was like sitting on this this pile of dirt, and I say to you that, like, my mother says that they didn't even they could have dig much more here, but apparently the funding just stopped. So I don't know, but she isn't allowed to say. Well, I shouldn't say either, I guess.
Say what?
No, that's the reason. Like, I don't know who. There was someone funding this thing, and now there's no money. But they're telling the people here that there's nothing left to find. I don't know if she doesn't think that's true.
What? So you think there's actually like valuable stuff that could be found here? I think. Yeah.
Valuable stuff. It's old stuff. I don't know. Ask my mother about that shit. Are you into archaeology? Is that what you're saying? If it's valuable?
I don't know. If it's anything like National Treasure, then I am, yeah?
Oh, I don't think so, but I mean, I guess you could give it a shot. I mean, I think you had a better opportunity by, playing the lottery or something, but...
And I think, yeah, well, we'll see. Let's see. And the pile of dirt we're sitting on, I kind of skid down it, and yeah, I'm like, I've like long long hair and wearing like way too, yeah, my jeans are way too wide and sitting way too low, right? um and I'm stepping over what is like those right on archaeology sites where they have like the sticks and the actual colored string, to outline what like actual buildings were and stuff like that, and I'm like almost tripping over it, and break down into the little bit below, so I'm like waist deep into the dig thing there. I don't know. You're supposed to actually brush off every centimeter of this slowly, or
Yeah, that's how you're supposed to do it. I mean, didn't you watch National Treasure? And I just like take my shoulders up because I obviously haven't watched it.
and I like bend down and pick up a rock and like actually just toss it across the dig side. I think that's where we cut back to now.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I guess they never reopened this, huh? Did they?
Nope. But and I look over at like the police tape. I guess someone has been here. Do you know what's happened?
Well, I thought that's why you asked us to meet here, because wait a second, and I'm like pull up. Reception is bad here, but I did. Yeah, and I hold up like a screenshot of a website of like, and it's like a local news thing where they reported that a body was found near our town. It's got to be this, right?
Yeah, and I think I like why would I want to make you come up here to see that? I mean, and
I don't know. That's like probably the most exciting thing that's happened here in like forever, like since the Romans were here.
I mean, come on, that's not funny. There's someone that's dead, or is it? They did die just there.
I don't know. It didn't say like what or who or the backgrounds of it. So
What the fuck is going on with this police tape? I mean, what is the police even doing? Who do they think this is stopping when there's nobody here?
You know, actually, we're breaking the law, like just being here. Like even if the police tape is broken, we shouldn't like be stomping around.
Oh fuck. Well, I mean, damn, I took a picture of it. Maybe so. Well, I just go on my phone and like delete the picture. Well, maybe.
What do you think? Some FBI agent is like watching you? I guess they wouldn't hear, but
I mean, you don't know, man. People watch the internet, okay?
I guess so.
And I think Jonas is like, I'm doing a PhD in cybersecurity. I think I know what I'm talking about.
Are you? Well, that's fascinating.
Oh,
But you do still use Facebook.
Well,
I think I'm like, do I want to cut here? Yeah.
Perfect place. Oh, cool. Okay, so I want to have a scene with Jonas and Molly. So maybe this place that I'm staying is run by your parents. Could that be?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
sounds good.
Yeah, and I think I have. I'm coming back from like. Are you staying in one of the? Is one of those rooms that they rent out your room?
Yeah, I mean, is it like is this like a bed and breakfast type situation, or?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah, I think one of the rooms that they rent out was my room, and when I came, somebody else was in it, so I ended up in a different room. And now you and your girlfriend are in my room, like my room.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm probably around the house a lot.
Yeah, actually, I know exactly where this scene is happening. It's like outside in the hallway, and I'm like locking myself into your room, and I like turn around and just like see you, and I don't think like I just look up at you and like looks like I'm trying to recognize you from somewhere or something.
Did you have pink hair like in high school? Or is this a new development?
This is not the place where you have pink hair.
I'm trying to gauge how much of an outsider we were talking about. Yeah, so we basically like almost run into each other, right?
Yeah. Yeah, and we
If
can
we're
have
in
a
a hallway.
flashback here, actually.
Yeah.
Where would be a place? I think maybe. Where would be a place where we would meet at school? Probably.
Yeah, probably school.
Were you good in school? Did you have good grades?
Yeah, I think Molly in a lot of ways, or I in a lot of ways, I'm a sort of a follower. So I was good at doing what teachers told me to do.
Mm-hmm.
And even if I didn't necessarily enjoy or care about my lessons that much, just sort of following directions was enough to get pretty good grades.
Yeah.
This wasn't not a great school district.
No, I think this scene is like we're in like it's like a smaller group room. We're on this like project, and I mean they apparently. I mean it's like this when you're doing when you're having grades that I guess at least that was someone's tactic in the group here to like be. Oh, I better be on the group with the people who are not morons, so I can not do all the work and that kind of thing. And I think there's another one in the group, but they are not there. What are we doing a project about?
History?
Yeah, maybe it's like even Roman history. Let's just say that.
Yeah, what a crazy random coincidence.
Yeah, and I think how does I'm gonna say? I think at this time Jonas his hair is still. I think he doesn't wear the same band T-shirt, but it's still a band T-shirt, and I guess like a bit I don't like baggy jeans. He doesn't have his hair is still colored but black, and I think he has like a piercing in his nose. It's pretty new. It's not a ring, but it's just like I don't know, like a bolt or something to the middle. And he is like sitting with his chair, like leaning back with his feet on the table. And I think the scene starts like when they're saying, "I can't believe that the Roman put the road through here. Like, why would I put the road through this shitty little place?"
So Molly looks like she probably gets up at least an hour before school every day. She curls her hair, which is naturally brunette. In the future, it will be, as soon as she has access to hair salons, it will be blonde. And it's kind of early 2000s, so there's probably some frosty makeup happening. And I like roll my eyes, like, does it matter? Who cares why they did it? They did it, and now I have to write a project about it. There's no use being like so negative about it.
And I think I like take and sit up and I say, that's like the interesting stuff, though. Like writing why that there is a road going through here and that there was people going here, and that's just not interesting. I mean, literally, like the valley next to us would be much easier to make a road through. It's not even. It's almost 500 meters taller. The pass where the road goes here.
So I don't know. Maybe they wanted stuff out of the mines too. I don't know. That's all anybody cares about. Does your mom know? Could we ask her for the project?
I'm not talking about my mom with this stuff. Oh, goddamn, she would never stop talking.
Yeah, and then we wouldn't have to write the project. You could just like record her.
I think the first time, like in this conversation, I like actually look over and have eye contact with you. I mean, like having my head around a million other places until now, and I was like, well, I don't think our teacher would accept a recording of my mother's voice talking about a road for hours on end for a project. But it wouldn't be such a bad idea. I mean, it's a little boring. I mean, not more boring than everything else in this town, but with good grades on this project, we can get out of here.
Yeah, and I plan to. So we can talk to your mom, or we can read a bunch of history books.
Yeah, and I think the last thing in the scene is that Jonas like puts up his like big book and starts reading in it.
Yeah.
And we're back in present time, and I think like all right, Molly, isn't it?
Yeah. Jonas? Is that you?
I mean, I look exactly the same as when I was 16. Come on.
Well, Lucky you. I like the hair though.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
different.
I mean, could you imagine someone in this shitty town going with pink hair when they're 16? They would have been, I don't know, crucified to the cross in that, I don't know, church or whatever it is. It must be some worshiper of Satan or something. Pink hair, come on. Well, anyway, I shouldn't go on. That's a bad habit, my partner tells me.
Oh, you're here with somebody?
Oh yeah, I'm here with my girlfriend.
Yeah, I do kind of like a girlfriend.
Yeah, I think Jonas just like smiles at that and says, "Yeah." She wanted to see the place that got me so fucked up, and she's been nagging on about it forever. So here I am.
I think this is like a little touchy for Molly because her kind of my natural instinct is to like be polite, and you're talking about the place that got you so fucked up and you're literally in my house. So I'm like, dude, I live here. So I kind of deflect. I'm like, well, does she like it so far? I imagine you've already done the whole grand tour. There's like 3 places.
Well, actually, I was going to show her the dig site, but apparently someone was murdered there. So, yeah, I just showed her the church and the school. But the food here is nice. I mean, actually, I kind of like this place. It's a nice room and, yeah, nice people running. Completely oblivious that this is your home, of course.
I'll tell Mom you said that.
Oh. And I think that's seen, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice.
Cool.
So it's just any kind of combination of scenes next, or are we back to a scene with no main characters in it?
You can set one if you want, or
Okay.
you can set any kind of scene you want, pretty much.
Okay.
So you can if you want someone else to go, that's fine too.
Okay, yeah. I think if somebody else wants to go, I need a minute to think, I think.
I might have an idea for a scene without any of the protagonists.
Okay.
And I think we get the typical way to show someone is like leaving a house, or someone is like pulling up open the drapes, showing that it's morning. We like actually maybe hear the church bell, and also add in the cry of a cock in the morning, right? And as we pan, we see like it's maybe this main street again, and we see like at every lamppost there's like there's posters hung up on the lamppost, and we quickly understand. Oh yeah, this looks like the rows upon rows, all the same. That these are all election posters.
Yeah.
And someone stops and looks up at one of them and is like, "What?" And we hear like people mumbling and coming together, and like it's showing the politician. It's back in the day, right? So it's in the past. Posters of that election with that soon to be infamous politician, but on a national level. And someone has like defaced each and every one of those, right? Like one, it's like just painted a pirate eye cover on there, but it gets like worse. There's like one with like where he's got like an upside down cross on his forehead, which like definitely draws the eye of the townsfolk. And then there's like one where he's got like a Hitler mustache and that kind of thing, and all of them are defaced. I think that's the scene.
Awesome. And we are down to Strange. We want to take a small break here, or we could...
Yeah.
We're on an hour since last time, so...
Yeah. We can go on a short break, and we'll be back in 5 minutes. Thank you for the raid. We're back. So we're at Strange now.
Yes, we're at Strange.
Nice.
Barreled straight through odd. Get into the good stuff.
Yeah, what is odd anyway? Let's go with Strange.
Yeah.
Someone have an idea?
Yeah, I can start. I didn't do one last time, I don't think so. So the scene starts. It's early in the morning, and Molly, you see, comes up around a corner, and I'm all decked out in like jogging gear. I'm going through the post breakup, got a drastic haircut, and now I'm getting in shape thing. And I'm going jogging, and there's not really anywhere to do that in town, so I'm farther out towards the mountains, and I run past the mine, the entrance to the mine. And I go to run past it. Obviously, there's no one there, right? And I just feel like I want to stop. And I turn away from the path and walk towards the entrance of the mine. It's barred. It has been for ages. And I get closer, and I can hear now how the wind pattern changes when you're close to the entrance of the mine, the wind kind of warps in the cave and starts whistling a little bit. The sound of my shoes on the dry ground is crackling. And I walk to the entrance of the mine and I put my hands on the wooden beam that bars the entrance and lean over. I put my weight on it and I hear something. What did I hear from deep inside the mine?
Oh, so many good possibilities.
Let's get strange.
That's true. Not scary or frightening or terrifying yet.
Yeah.
I have some ideas. What about you, Matthias?
Might have an idea too.
Okay, I'm gonna go then, I think.
Yeah.
I think I mean, you're not sure because it could have just been the wind, but it almost sounds like there's someone singing, like there's a voice. It's not the wind, it's a voice. It doesn't sing any like lyrics or anything like that, as far as you can tell.
Mm-hmm.
But the voice is definitely, if it is a voice anyway, because it's a very like clear tone, and it carries much better than the wind would do if it's just howling. And why is there wind in there anyway?
Yeah. So I listened to the sound for a minute and I'm not sure whether or not it's real. Like you said, it doesn't sound like the wind, but what else could it be? And I think, maybe it's like some kids or something like that playing in there. That's not good. So just projecting, I say, is anybody in there? You really shouldn't be. It's dangerous. Do I hear anything back?
Does the singing suddenly stop?
Okay.
You might have to wonder, like, was it ever really there?
Yeah, so it just the sound of my voice kind of reverberates a little and gets lost in the cave, and I wait for a second and I'm like, no, maybe no, it couldn't have been anything. And I go to push myself off of the wooden beam, and it's old. It's been splintered. And when I put my weight on it to kind of like push myself away, cut my hand just a little bit. I'm like, ow, damn it. And just pluck the splinter out, and the kind of last image is a little drop of blood welling out of the hand on the wood. And scene.
Nice.
Very cool. I have an idea for a scene. I think this is in the past, actually. It is not very long after the flashback scene with that we just had with Jonas and Molly, and I think it's on in the principal's office. You want to play the principal, Matthias?
Sure.
I think it's probably like a month after or something like that. The project has been delivered, and I think you see this. The principal's office is very like orderly. There is a big desk, and you see actually on the right side the wall there is a poster with this politician. I actually think that the principal is his father, and he's pretty old. I guess in his mid 60s or something like that. And he's sitting with our project paper in his hands. I wrote some stuff there about. I think I wrote some stuff there about that there was. Wild theory about why the road was there is because there was some kind of like Roman fertility cult or something that had their like there was like a shrine to it here, but of course they never found anything like that in the archaeology digs, and I mean nobody really believes it. But I wrote it there because that was much more interesting than just writing there's a road there. So and I've been called into the principal's office, seeing him with this like paper on his desk, and I have no idea what's coming.
Yeah, and the principal actually has a letter opener that does not just look like a knife, but is a knife. And he's sitting there and holding that and looking sternly down on that paper.
Why am I being called in here, sir?
Do you actually mean to feign ignorance here? Is this garbage something you think is at all an adequate way to present yourself at my school?
I mean,
a Roman fertility cult? Are the hormones running away with you, young man?
Well, actually, I mean, it was a working theory. I mean, we don't know why the road is there. Might as well make it interesting for people reading it.
Interesting for the people. Is this the stuff you write in your free time, young man?
No, I don't write about history in my free time. I mean, it's a good paper.
Now, I don't think you're in a position to judge any of that.
And so my eyes almost roll back in my head as he says that.
And I think that's when he actually takes the letter opener and plunges it down into the desk, like piercing your paper and pinning it to his desk. It's an utter lack of respect you're showing, young man. This will have consequences.
Well,
you better watch yourself if you want to have any chance of walking out of here graduating.
Yeah, and I think my face gets more like serious after that. And I says, "Really? Are you seriously saying that writing a paper will make me not graduate?"
This is not the first thing in line with behavior that you're illustrating. Your teachers have noticed who you have started hanging out with.
Oh, Sepp?
For one, yes. Your other extracurricular activities that you're going after, your family not even partaking in any of the community.
Oh.
And then you think you can turn up at my school and write these fantasies and turn them in as official school papers? No. You're walking on thin ice, young man.
I mean, come on, Sepp delivered a paper on this subject last year saying that the reason there's a road here because there's a rock. And he did. And
Sepp is a troubled young man.
Well, he didn't get expelled.
But he's not your concern. I would expect better of someone with parents with that kind of education.
Yes, sir.
That's more like it.
Yeah, I think that's it. Great principle there, I have to say.
Extremely powerful. I was afraid that I was, in real life, going to get detention. The power of roleplay.
Yeah. I think, though, that I have answered one of my questions is about were me and Joseph really friends. I think that is established that we actually were.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think with that and like the fact that you still have each other's numbers and stuff like that.
Yeah, and that we
kind of shows it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So now I have to come up with a different question. So yeah, I'm going to think about that. Anyone else have an idea for the scene?
Who wants to describe something crawling out of the mine? That's just what I'm thinking right now. But maybe I should think a little bit about Zeb.
We're still on strange, my friend.
That's true.
Just to clarify though, so after a question has been answered, the story proceeds with play. So and then afterwards you make a new question for yourself that you want to answer, and you can keep writing down the answer so that we can keep track of it. And what the answers were.
Yeah, I wrote down the answer directly after my question. Because you did answer my first question in the beginning. I also kind of already know why I'm returning to hometown. Oh, you all do, right? Don't we?
Yeah, I guess so, actually.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just extend on that though and say that am I really coming up to hometown just to show it to my partner?
Yeah.
And I think also I'm gonna have my other question is gonna be did I ever do more research on that fertility cult? Or what did I find out when I did more research on fertility cult? I think that's gonna be my other one.
Okay. You're not listening to your principal. Yeah, so I have why am I returning to hometown? To look after my mom. And I think the next question out of that is, what is a way forward for her? And I might have a scene now to frame for that. And I think this is Seb waking up in the middle of the night. I'm like groaning because there's like some noise that I'm hearing that's woken me up, and I look and there's like I can see like light underneath the door. Then I look and the alarm clock shows like that it's like 3:30 in the morning, and I get up and look to see what's going on. And I see and I think it's it's like my mom cooking something, and I walk up to her and I'm like, Mom? She doesn't respond. Like, Mom, what are you doing? It's middle of the night. And she's like going through the motion of getting a meal prepared. When I like start realizing she's sleepwalking, and I'm like, "Hey, Mom, come!" And like I turn off the stove and lead her over to like just the table there, and I'm like, hey, it's me. Can you wake up? And it takes like a little bit of time until like she comes actually properly to, and looks at me and it's like, what's going on? And I think that's actually the whole scene.
Mm. Cool. Anyone have an idea for a scene? It would also be a time to move from strange to scary, possibly. If not, I think I have an idea.
Okay.
I mean, you can, if you have an idea, go ahead.
No, I think maybe it would be good to have like one more before we move to scary.
Okay, sure.
If you have an idea.
That
I
was,
don't have one.
I had one for one that would move it to scary.
Oh no, move it to scary. Go for it.
Yeah, I think this is also in the past. I think it's the principal. You see the principal talking to. I think actually let it be that politician. I think let it.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it's the politician. Actually, we haven't seen him yet.
It could also be the politician and the principal being in a conversation.
Yeah. I think it is, and it's going to be pretty short. But I think it's like it's in. It's also in his office. It's not the same time, but it's not very much after. I think you can see the paper from Jonas in the trash can with the hole in it. Probably as in this TV series, the camera starts there at like the hole in this paper. This like painting of the fertility gods or something like that from like a classic painting, something like that, on the front page. And I think like you hear the voice of this politician, and everybody of course recognize this voice because it's a very famous politician. So. And he says, but closing both the mine and the dig site will kill this town. And the principal just answers, well, there might be consequences otherwise too, and we can't risk it. And I think that's seen.
Nice.
Scary.
Oh, we're getting scary now.
Now you're gonna have things crawling out of the mine, Matthias. Anyone with an idea for a scene? I think I would like to see a scene at the mine.
Yeah, you can also frame something for someone else, right? If you want to.
Yeah. I can do that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna frame a scene for. I think it's still in the. Let's see. I'm gonna look at your questions first. Also too. Um, yeah, I think actually I want to frame a scene with Molly and the ex.
Okay.
And it's in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to play the ex, Matthias?
Sure.
It's in
So we're
it's in
high school sweethearts.
yeah. It's in the. It's actually. I think I framed the scene by like seeing. You see like the mine just being closed. It's a bit of the same as we did with the sign that's brand new, and you see like the material that is like barred over the mine entrance is also new. And it's a summer day, not like fall, like it's it's now. And I think you see what's the name of the ex?
I don't know. Chad. I'm imagining he's a real Chad.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you and Chad, you're like you see you two sneaking I guess going around like the entrance and like going into like this other entrance, sneaking into the mine, like giggling, and you you see the like carts that are in the mine standing there with nothing in it, and like the small tunnel like going down. There's still like a light switch, and I think you turn it on and you see like the light flicker. What about this place makes you a little uncomfortable, Molly?
I think part of it is just that I know we're not supposed to be here. So I'm already uncomfortable because I'm doing something that would get me in trouble. And also, it's really dark. It's now like abandoned, so there's no reason for any of the kind of industrial work lights to be on. And I don't know, we're teenagers sneaking into a mine, so I assume it's nighttime.
Yeah, it's probably like, at least in like the evening.
Yeah, so we only have the light of our Nokia brick phones. So yeah, it's really, really dark in there. And I wouldn't have really considered myself afraid of the dark because like that's for babies. But now I feel like kind of this primal, like almost caveman fear of like, oh, this is why we invented fire first. Like, this is bad.
And Chad is like, these politicians. It's such a farce. Shutting this mine down. I can't wait until it's time that I'm they don't understand economics at all. It's gonna be. I'm gonna go and we should actually go do this together, study that properly, so we can help out our town. These politicians are all jokesters.
Can you really see me doing economics?
Sure, you're brilliant. You know that, don't you? It's gonna be so good. I can feel it. Hey, let's have a look down this tunnel here.
Okay, but you have to promise and go on and economically save the town without me when I get expelled for Jonas turning in porn for our history final.
What? What are you talking about?
You didn't hear? He got called into the principal's office. He said that the town was based on some, like, fertility cult.
Oh my god, that little creep.
Yeah, like, I don't know. It was related to the mind somehow, like the womb of the earth or whatever. And that's why it's so prosperous, like, it's fruitful. It's nasty.
I mean, it does feel rather sticky and warm and humid down here, so...
Chad!
What? It's weird, isn't it? It's strange.
Yeah.
They never really said what they were mining here either, right? What do you think went on here? And Chad is like poking his nose into everything. Like any machinery that's like been left over, and trying to shine a light in there. And then says like, yeah, I don't think you should really hang out with that loser that much. Like, that's gonna be way worse than any math bits that you don't know.
I mean,
because things are different, work different in the city. It'll be good for us. I know this. You can see that bright smile.
Yeah. Yeah, she's I'm like, you're being stupid. I mean,
what do you mean? Don't you think we should be doing this? Not this. I mean, it's perfect for us. Like, we go there, we can study together, like we can room up together. I don't know, maybe.
So, it sounds nice. It would be good to get out of here and here.
And he goes down to one knee and pulls something from his pocket. And I want to know what interrupts his engagement.
Yes. In the spooky
his proposal mind. In the spooky mind.
I think you hear voices from outside. Or actually, let's zoop from down the tunnel, coming up towards you. What do you see? Like, you see like only like a flash or something before you, I guess, try to hide or run or whatever you do. But what is the thing that you see?
Over Chad's shoulder.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm like, oh my god. And then I see just a flash of something. I can't tell what it is because, again, there's not very much light. Whatever it is, it has like kind of mottled white and pink skin, kind of the texture of like toad skin, and it looks slick, but I never heard anything about there being like an underground lake or anything in here. And it just like flashes back, and I go from like, oh my god, to oh my god, and point over Chad's shoulder and start like pulling him up, like, we have to go. I don't know. I saw something. I swear.
Whoa, what's that? And I think then it's gone, and
I think that's scene, actually.
Yeah. Good. Well, it's probably not the last time that Chad tried to propose.
Goddamn chat.
Part 1.
Yeah.
Chad. The chattening.
I mean, here's the thing, right? Do we want to accelerate things? Because the perfect thing is now to jump into the present and see that something's pushing, like the beam that bars the mine breaks open, and yeah, I'm just going to jump into the scene. We see like we slowly close in, and then there's this thump, and the beam jumps a little bit, and another thump, and the beam jumps, and then it breaks open, and we follow the broken pieces that slide to the ground, and we just hear the creaking of things being pushed away and open, and then we just see how like a slithering tongue slides over the splintery woods where the little blotch of blood was.
Yes. Yes.
And we're at frightening. So if you have questions you want to have answered, I would recommend answering them soon. Before you get eaten by the monster.
Yeah, I'm fully going to get eaten by the monster first.
Well, we'll see. We'll see.
I'm ready to be the stupid horror protagonist.
Oh no. Are we doing those drops? Oh well, we'll see. So, does anyone have an idea for a scene?
Yeah, I have one. I think maybe starting at least with Molly and Jonas, and then maybe we can try and think of a way to bring in Sep or something. So the scene, I think, is back at the B&B / Molly's house. And I've been thinking about in the mine, the voice that I heard. And it reminded me of earlier, that time in the mine with Chad, it was easy to kind of disregard one weird thing, but now it's been two weird things. And I'm just like, I need to tell somebody about this. And really the only person that I can kind of think of is Jonas. So I wait maybe until I see your partner like go into the bathroom or something, and like knock on the door.
Yeah, I think it probably opens because it didn't close it completely. So when you knock, it just like slides open.
Yeah.
And I think you can see Jonas like lying in bed reading this book. I think actually you first think you recognize like the picture on the books that you see looks a little bit like what you think you saw in the mine. And the book is called Worship of Fertility, the Sacred Beings and the Cross.
Great. Yeah, that's exactly what I was kind of getting at. So I sort of like stick my head on like, is this a good time?
Oh, sure. Good time for what exactly?
This is really weird. But I was out running this morning, and you remember when we were in school and we did that project for history class?
And I think like Jonas smiles and like looks at the book. Well, obviously.
Yeah, I just was wondering if you looked into it more, like.
Well,
I heard something in the mine, and I know your whole thing was, and everybody's whole thing is that stone by the road. But I don't know. I was just wondering, like, if you'd heard anything about the mine.
And I think like when you start saying like have you researched it more, you see like Jonas's face light up a little bit, but then it continually degrades into like this more serious look as you continue talking, and he like just puts down his book and says, well, I mean, I did actually look into that stuff, but I mean, well, from what I read, it seems like pretty far-fetched. These days, I just read it because it's pretty interesting fiction, actually. Like, I mean, if you read Lovecraft, it's pretty crap. This is much more fun, and also there was actually people believing in it, so that's. Did you know that there was a lot of like Christian cults doing fertility worship? And actually in this area. But there's a lot of things that I don't think is true here, though. It seems very strange.
What kind of stuff do they do for rituals?
Oh, all kinds of stuff. Well, there is like sacrificial rituals and stuff, but I mean this is like 3,000 years ago. At least that's the last recorded. dates for them.
Did they sing?
Yeah. Singing is a normal part of almost all fertility rituals.
Oh.
Why are you suddenly interested in fertility cults? I thought you hated it after that paper.
Well, I thought we were both going to get expelled. You almost did.
I mean, it's just because the principal is a dick and my mother wasn't Christian enough for him.
I think he's still principal. He's about 90 now. I heard he's still a dick.
And I think this is when, if I can cut in with something here.
Yeah.
Your phone, Jonas, starts buzzing on the table.
Mm-hmm.
And it's Seb who's like, I found out who our victim was. Apparently a guy from a energy and mining development.
And I think that's seen.
Yeah. Nice.
Cool. I just had to quickly Google book titles for fertility cults there. The real book is called The Sacred Mushroom and the Cross.
How do we do this? How do we bring this actually to a close? I think we have an idea. I don't know. We should even talk about it, though.
I mean, if you feel... I guess the thing to do here is to gauge whether you feel it's enough build-up or not.
Yeah.
And then go for the last step. I think we're getting there.
But we're not quite there yet.
I mean, that depends, I guess.
Depends. I don't know what the next scene would be.
Remember, you can also do flashback scenes.
Yeah.
But we can also just do go to Terrifying, have a scene for that.
I think maybe we need something to kind of tie together the archaeology site and the mine.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And
like one idea.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the actual archaeology site and the mine, and why they didn't keep digging. Kind of makes sense that in the presence, tonight is the school reunion thing, that probably now that these things are going on, none of us really attend, or it's just in the background. But it might be a good place to catch up.
I mean, I have an idea for how to tie it up, if you want to.
No, I'm just, it's more of a curiosity question, and what we feel like.
Maybe like on the back of the last scene, Molly just asked if Jonas could like take her to the archaeology site or something, and Sep could be there too because he just figured out about the body.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, that's cool. You can frame the scene if you want to.
Okay. So, I ask Jonas to like basically I want to know more about this fertility cult stuff, and the archaeology site's obviously been closed for ages, so we're not going to like interrupt anybody by going there. And I don't know, maybe like Jonas would usually think that this is like kind of weird and not necessarily want to like leave his girlfriend and go to this archaeology site. But you just got the text from Sep as well. So now there's kind of the murder mystery kind of stuff happening that you want to know more about. And we're like, do you ask Sep to like meet us there?
Yeah.
Do you tell Molly? Or is it a surprise?
No. Yeah, I guess maybe it is actually. I mean, I don't know if I thought about that. I just like I just like immediately from what you said maybe we should go check out the site, and because I definitely think that we'll see that and play, but Jonas has some thoughts about. I think that's the reason why he came back, is to check out something about that site.
Yeah.
When Sep texts, he just like meet us at the site and doesn't even think about that. Us makes no sense for Sep, or you don't know that he's coming.
Do you tell your girlfriend that you're going, or do you just like get excited about science and leave?
I tell her that I'm going to the reunion.
Oh, interesting. A deception.
And she's actually happy about that, because she's been like, you should really go. Like it's a one evening, and don't drag your feet about that. It's not going to be like it was. And, yeah.
Of course she does.
Yeah. So yeah, off we go. And on the way there, I kind of catch you up about what happened. And I've started like, you can't tell if it's like a nervous tick or what. I started like rubbing my palm. And when we get to the archaeology site, I kind of stop and I'm like, oh, I haven't been here since it happened. I don't know if we'll be able to look around. And I gesture to the police tape.
I already went through it, so I guess doesn't matter. And either way, Sep is coming soon, so we'll have someone to blame if if they catch us. And I think he just like frowns. And speaking of which, how does Sep show up?
I think it's we see a flashlight moving through the night. And Seb is coming, and I actually have a shovel with me.
Prepared.
Yes, and a proper torch to light the way. And like, I thought it was you. I saw you earlier this afternoon. Weren't you love what you've done with your hair?
Thanks. Yeah. Um, wish it was, we weren't meeting at a
I mean,
murder site. It's good to see you. Or would be, anyway.
well, I mean, this is like the most exciting thing that's ever happened here, I feel.
Yeah, and I think you can hear like Jonas is not even noticing that this is happening behind him. I think he's already like rambling about. Well, my theory is that they stopped because there was some kind of like structure here, and he like points down in the hole. What do I see in the hole now?
Darkness.
I think it's not what you see, it's what you feel. You kind of jump in. Where's the hole? Like, the archaeology site is how deep? Like, how far did they dig down?
It has like a couple of layers. We've only seen the one that is like waist deep.
Okay. So you jump in, and we all hear this like squelch as you jump in, and you kind of pull your foot up, and you're like, oh, I guess it was raining or something. But it's very clearly not mud. When you pull your foot up, it's the texture is more like it's like snot or something. Like there's the strings between the ground and your boot as you pull it up, and we're kind of Molly like peeks over, and I'm like, what are you doing in there?
Oh, fuck, what is this? And I think like Jonas is like lifting his boot, and you see like this slimy thing falling off.
Mm-hmm.
Ah.
I lean over and shine a light on it. Like I was at the reunion for like half an hour, but as soon as I saw that, ew. But as soon as I saw the principal, and then I'm like shining the light on, and like, what did you step in? Oh, there's lots more. And like I shine a light over the ground there. I think it's like covered in that, right?
Yeah.
What is that?
Well, yeah, what does it look like?
So if it has a color, you can't really see it. It is mostly transparent, and yeah, it's just there's not a super thick layer of it, but it's in the hole that you're in. It's pretty much in the entire area, and then in kind of the sublayer of the dig, as we kind of follow the torchlight, it looks like there's kind of this slimy like trough where something has been either dragged or pulled itself.
Do we cut here?
Yeah.
Yeah. I would have a scene to escalate stuff.
Yeah, I mean, go ahead.
Okay.
Ah.
So I think the escalation here is we get this kind of low to the ground view, and it's like scanning back and forth, and we hear this very throaty breathing sound as we're like realizing, oh no, we're in first person of something, and it's like sniffing, and then like raises its head, or we raise our head, and this probably like just for a moment that kind of singing that we heard before is we heard again, and we're still, and then it subsides, and then we break out in like full hectic and move forward into the woods, and the brushes fly past us.
Dum dum dum.
Dun, dun, dun.
I'm looking at my question. I'm like, oh, these are not so interesting anymore.
Yeah, I don't know if we're gonna find out the fate of my relationship. Well, I mean, I think we might, but
Maybe this was Chad all along.
I think he and Chad maybe won't be getting back together.
He's coming to propose.
Okay.
Beware, Chad.
Cool. Well, anyone has an idea for a scene? What could that possibly be? I think we're almost into montage territory here.
Yeah.
One thing I want to frame is Molly, like your hand starts throbbing more and more,
Mm-hmm.
and it seems to be swollen.
Yeah.
Why is that? I mean, what's happening with it?
I mean, Molly doesn't know. I think I've been like worrying it, basically, pretty much just like wringing my hands, and maybe it was irritated by that, but I've been like messing with it, and it's kind of come open, and I've been so like distracted by all of this weird squelchiness that I don't notice. And I like I look at it, and I've got the kind of, I've reopened it. There's more blood than there was at first, like coming down my arm, and I'm like, oh, gross. And you know when you get cut, like the first thing you do is you like put it in your mouth, you know? So yeah. So I put it like that, and the blood is gone for a second, and I think it's plasma at first, you know, but just a drop mixed with the blood a little bit. It's swirling in it, of this transparent viscous fluid, like comes out of my arm. And
who of us notices this?
Yeah.
You've stopped.
Yeah, who notices me having an existential crisis?
I definitely think it's Jonas.
Okay, great.
When he's like,
Thank you for dooming me, but I love it. Yeah, so you turn back towards
Yeah,
Wally and see.
when I get, I'm like trying to get up from the like the dig, and I guess I grab for your hand,
Hmm.
and then I like see it, and I'm like, oh fuck. And it looks, I think it looks a bit like Jonas. I stand like in the place for like a little bit, what seems to be a little bit at least, but probably just a few seconds, and
Hmm.
fuck, can't be. And I think actually Jonas just runs off.
I've got a good reason for you to run off. Can I insert a little thing before that? Because I think Seb has gone on the outside a little bit further down to look for stuff and like shining his flashlight everywhere, and turns like kind of back and is like, "Hey, what's keeping you?" And then poof, from the side something gets him, and like the flashlight like flies. So you've got double the incentive to just run.
Okay.
Is that scene?
Yeah.
Cool. Well, I think, I mean, normally I would say that this game has, I would almost say that the game maybe is over at that scene. This is where the subtext comes up, or the credits.
I think I have one more, maybe.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so Jonas, you didn't like, you weren't like run or come with me or whatever. You just bolted, right? Yeah. And then Sep got and we see Molly is like frozen in fear, basically. And whatever the thing is, it's here just out of the sight of the fallen torch. And my hand is dripping, and I kind of just feel like I hum a few bars of the song that I heard.
Yes.
And start singing, and the voice that comes out is mine, but also not mine. It's older. It almost sounds like more than one voice, like it's part of something bigger. And while I'm kind of singing this song quietly, I think fertility cult. So there are two. There always has to be two. And that's the end.
Yes.
Oh man.
I love it and hate it at the same time.
I enjoyed that a lot, actually.
Yeah, it's really fun.
Well, there is a line in the game about epilogues, but I think maybe we're almost at the end part where it's just more satisfying to just leave it like this.
Feel so too, yeah. Not every character always needs an epilogue. Like, there's questions that linger, which are good questions, I feel. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like a in the old movie, there's like end and then the bloody question mark. So I was a fan.
Okay. Well, then let's do outros. So say where people can find you and what you've got going on and stuff. Joel, you wanna start?
Yeah, I'm at Dine Joel on Twitter. So if anybody wants to come say hi, sort of just getting started there. I'm working on my first DM's Guild adventure. It should theoretically be out around the end of this month or the beginning of next month, so you can keep an eye out for that. It will be also a bit spooky. There are doppelgangers. So if this kind of stuff is your jam, definitely keep an eye out for it.
Awesome. That sounds cool. And Mikael? Thanks for running this, by the way.
Yes.
You're welcome. You can find me at Mikael Tusva on Twitter. You can also find me on YouTube. I have a lot of VODs and stuff. This has though been like this Summer of Spooks been the first time I've run things in stream. And so I'm not really up to anything after this, but I hope perhaps that I will be doing more of it because I've been enjoying it a lot. So we'll see. But you can find out about that on my Twitter, hopefully. Also, you should definitely check out this game at the Wilhelm's Games. The creator of this game has a lot of pretty good games that nobody has heard about. Should definitely be played. Yeah. I can put it in chat, I guess, here. Which now I want to play. This is the first game I played of it, but he has also a few other ones that I heard very good things about. So maybe we'll see that on stream sometime. But that's all about me, I think. Yeah, I run things on the Gauntlet. If you want to play with me, then you should check out that community. I'll be running Epillion the 2 next weeks.
I want to play that. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, this has been great. Love the game. I love the story we got to tell. All the characters were super interesting and super fun. Thank you, Joel. First time playing with you was super awesome.
Thank you.
You should do this again. And Mikael, yeah, always that was great Gemless games. Maybe we can actually get a campaign together of something sometime.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Do that too. Yeah, this has been Some of Spooks. I'm Matthias. You can find me at mthsblgr on Twitter. And tomorrow on off_the_table, actually, for Sangahona, the Claiming or Urban Shadows game there. Same. So tomorrow's the High Noon crew, and on Fridays the Midnight crew. But we do actually have a little bit of crossover, so someone's switching it up. And on Saturday I actually run the finale of the Burning Shores of Vigilia, the Burning Wheel game I'm running on Anaris' channel. And then next week. Oh yeah, also there's here on Katie's channel. There's the second session of the D&D game that's going on for Some of Spooks with like a lovely crew. They're having a lot of fun, and it's the cutest D&D group I've seen yet. So check them out. And next week I think it's Monsters and Other Childish Things on this channel on Wednesday for Some of Spooks. And yeah, hope you're having a great summer with not too many toad demons. But, Have a good one, everyone. Good night.